Simply put, 3 years ago, I was addicted to building, and I would do it all day and all night, and I loved the hell out of it. But would a month be long enough for me to go from this to this? After abandoning this passion for so long, could I muster up something so close to what I had in the past, or would I be left with nothing but a failed ambition and wasted time? This is a story about growth, friendship, and learning, and finding a passion you'd lost. A tale of why you should learn to build again. But for me to explain how I went from dirt huts to mushroom kingdoms, we're gonna have to go back to 2020. When the virus hit, all my friends did different things. Some went into servers like Hypixel to grind all day, while others went into PvP, and initially, I was that PvP guy. I'd log into Hypixel Duels and PvP Legacy and fight others, and I was pretty good, but I felt limited. And then, one day, my friends started an SMP. We did the normal stuff, kill each other, start farms, go from nothing to netherite in a couple days, but then it all came to a screeching halt. Until...
You want to build a base with me?
And that's when it started. Big builds, small builds, and a lot of mushrooms. I did everything and saw everything. While all my friends were practicing PvP, I was here building a house, and when all my friends had gotten bored of the server, I would still be online building. And even though I had this passion, I was still pretty bad. All the decent things I did were just copies of other builds I found off Pinterest. It wasn't until I started going hard into Hermitcraft when I started to be original. But we've all got to start somewhere. I started with building walls and entrances and windows and the whole shebang. I watched videos from other builders, went onto social media, and took a bunch of inspiration to unlock that muscle memory.
Wait, why did you stop in the first place?
Well, the same as most people watching this video. It was because the quarantine ended. Hold on, let me explain. I had to go outside again, and I had to work more for school, and I got a part-time job, and I had to leave it all behind, and I feel like a lot of other people did that too. We stopped playing games for tens of hours at a time and decided to start touching grass. And when that happened, I stopped playing Minecraft. I moved on to other games, and when I did play Minecraft, it was something quick and simple like PvP, where I could play with a bunch of friends and have a bunch of fun really quickly. Hell, even Hypixel Skyblock. So one day, I decided to just drop building forever. And that was until I saw this video again. And then I realized, hey, wouldn't it be fun to actually learn to build again? Maybe I could salvage some of that time that I worked so hard to achieve in the first place. But this was a very good way of acknowledging and reflecting on my past self, and while I built, I was flooded with memories of watching every Hermitcraft episode and waiting for the lore drop of the Qsmp. And hey, do you want to learn how to build? Well, here's a quick tip. When you copy off a build on the internet, learn from it. Figure out what they're building and why they're building like this. Why they're building a wall like this, why they're decorating a wall like this, and then when you've learnt enough, you can start adapting that into your own builds. And oh my god, what is this? Oh my god, this is the ugliest thing I've seen in my entire life. Oh god, hold up, let me call someone. Hey dude, can you help me get better at building?
Yeah, sure. You gotta understand color, then remember to make a structure and shape it up. Good luck.
This is Alessandro Demore. He's kinda good at building. Builder for Bad Boy Halo, Ultimate SMP, and Life SMP, and trust me, he's good. So let's work on that list. I made some color palettes, some red, some blue, and some woody. Started creating an interesting structure, and then made progress on the shapes. After a week or so, I could confidently say that I was ready to start building. And so I did. Started building dozens of walls, roofs, and then advancing color onto them. But why building? Why shouldn't I spend this month on PvP or Redstone? Well, because in 2020, my friends started an SMP. It was deleted, which was a big shame, but all the memories are shared in a couple of surviving photos. And you can tell, gates I copied from the internet, massive mansions, long-running gardens, and a kingdom of mushrooms which we named after the one in Dream SMP. These will be memories that I will always share and remember, and I'm sure we've all had memories like that. Anyways, let's get back to building. Here's how you start a house. You start first with a base. Let's make a little cottage. Plan yourself out and make sure you make either odd or even walls. You put down a stair and then another and another, all the way until you can get the two sides joined. Fill it out and then add a chimney and some foliage and some mushrooms around, and bam, we got it. And speaking of mushrooms, let's make a big one. And in case you're wondering, yes, I didn't build the back at all, but I need to fill out an entire village and only in a month's time. That's gonna take a while, so we need to speed things up a bit. So I did. I built towers, blacksmiths, and farms. Designed paths, and some of it looked good and some was not as good, so I just... Until eventually I had a good amount of building, so I decided it was terraforming time. So I loaded into the world and I started cooking. A pond in the middle and a mountain on the back. Then I started to sprinkle in the houses I built around it, added in some giant mushrooms, and then I started to work on clouds in the sky. Turned on shaders and damn, it looked good. It gave me a time to reflect and to be creative. It gave me a blank canvas that I could fill, and I asked you to find something that you can fill with your creativity. Because God know I needed one, but something it was missing. I went onto Pinterest and I wanted to find something big, a really big spectacle, I guess, and so I thought I would build a castle. They're big, in Disneyland, in Winecraft, Hypixel, why wouldn't it work here? And that's until I realized that I couldn't build it in the slightest, so I had to narrow down my scope, and I wanted to emphasize how connected to mushrooms my village was. That was a weird sentence to say. So I knew it had to have room for a couple shrooms, and I played around with 3 main ideas. A collection of houses on a massive mountain similar to these houses in Asia, and similar to these builds you see behind me. A small walled kingdom similar to a generic elf settlement in a fantasy like this one, and build in Minecraft like this. And 3, an ornate house sitting on a giant plant, whether it be a flower or a tree or, well, a mushroom, similar to a build I found here. And well, I let my friends decide. Hey, just wondering what build you think is the best. And so I built the 3rd one, and with excitement in hand, I decided to start building, and it was a hot mess. Nothing came out well, and I realized I still had so much to finish and terraform, and that this wasn't going to work. I had to leave to another country in 4 days, and the knowledge that all I would have is this kind of demoralized me, and that all this time and knowledge would have become nothing. But I started to hate myself for this optimism and I guess my persistence, and then I closed Minecraft. Hey guys, I really need some help.
Hey, you remember that basement?
Yo, you need help with the projects of
You've got
yours?
3 days left, mate. You sure you don't need any help?
Subscribe to Critea!
Hell yeah!
So do I get paid?
Better shout me out in this video.
And just like that, I got 8 other people to help, and it was honestly surreal. Sure, not every one of them was helping in the conventional sense, but it was something that brought everyone together, just like that Qsmp 3 years ago did. Some were working hard on making massive mountains in the back, while some just decorated the ground. A mad lad was even finding and putting Among Us's in the background, so which I utterly respected. Suddenly, this stupid month schedule felt possible, and even though I spent entire days procrastinating, I loved every little bit of effort I put in. And by the end of the day, the village was done, all thanks to my friends who took hours out their day just to help me in a silly block game. And now there was only one thing left. So, I have 2 days before I need to go. So I think I need to get a move on, and that's what I'm gonna do. And so I started, and the mushroom came out really well, and while I struggled a bit with the cap, oh my god, I hate building so much, I eventually got it down and started to texture and decorate everything. I really liked the idea that the dirt was still sprinkled onto the stem, as well as a dirty block transition, so I added that instantly, and it looked kind of bad, so I removed it, before finalizing the texturing and filling it with white dots. And I got to say, it was very good. I was very happy with myself, but time was steadily running out. Next, I had to build a house, and so I repeated my famous formula. I built a layout and started building the foundation. I knew I wanted to accent my red mushroom with a little green-blue accent, so I made sure I kept that in mind as I filled out the foundations. And then, finally, the roof. After that, I did a little bit of detailing, and before I even knew it, I never thought I would be able to make another build again. As school got harder and my life busier, I knew that the holidays was the last chance I could attempt something like this. And even though there was doubt and challenge, I managed to pull through. And I hope it inspired someone watching this. And if you are still watching, feel free to share your experiences, because these human stories are what matter most to us and also to Minecraft. And looking back at this footage, I can safely say that I am proud as hell. From ugly dirt huts to ugly wooden boxes to ugly buildings, all the way to this. Backdropped by mountains and giant mushrooms, and accompanied by the fruits of my labor, all the way from the first week to the final days. So, maybe I didn't master building. Yeah, I still need references, and yeah, I still need to review old builds to remember specific techniques, and maybe I'll forget how to make a doorway or a window just function every once in a while. But I would say that I did succeed in this challenge. Maybe I didn't master building, I could have done more in a month, but I am proud of what I did do. And here's something that I can promise. I will keep building. It is such a freeing way of conveying creativity, and I felt so smart finding the beauty inside of a blank wall, or creating the structure of a tree, taking buildings from real life and putting them into a world of my own. There is a certain joy I find in searching for material and then making it my own, and I've been building ever since, even after this video has been published. So maybe when I travel abroad, I will not only come back with memories and photos, but a traditional house I saw, or a crumbling castle and a statue that I recreated from my mind and permanently attached to my computer. Its memories locked firmly in place. And frankly, I find that really valuable. Of course, I'm nowhere close to being a master. There are kids who can build galaxies, black holes, and majestic creatures, conscious political commentaries, and our entire Earth all inside block game. But maybe in a year of building, I'll be there. Thanks to my friends, to everyone I took inspiration from, and you for watching and supporting this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. And with that, I can safely say that I learned how to build again in 1 month. And I hope this convinced you to do something too. I hope you enjoy seeing my journey, and I also hope you have a good rest of your day or life if I never see you again. Subscribe and comment something and like. It really does mean a lot, and I'll be very, very thankful. Yeah, that's about it. See ya.